And welcome into the Kresge Gymnasium on the campus of Albion College in Albion, Michigan. Jim Funderburg along with Jim Bellamy here on the Briton Sports Network as we look forward to a big, I don't know how many times I can say it, a big Wednesday night here of women's basketball in the MIAA, Jimmy, as the Hope Flying Dutch hit town tonight, and the Albion ladies looking for a great big win tonight over the number 2 team in the conference.
Yeah, the Lady Brits tonight want to find out how for real they are this season, and there's no better team to do that against than the Hope Flying Dutch, and we're excited to see this Wednesday night basketball contest played on the Britons' home floor, and you got to protect home floor, so Coach Carden is going to have her squad ready for a big game tonight.
These are 2 teams that have already seen one another once this year. We played them in Hope back in December, early on in the season, and it was a basketball game then that the Britons lost by 8, 74-66. It was a close game to get started with, Jim. It was only 19-14 at the end of the first quarter. It was the second quarter that kind of opened up the gap as Hope outscored the Britons in that second quarter 15-8. Briton stormed back in the third quarter and outscored Hope 25-9, but then that fourth quarter, Hope able to seal the deal with a 31-19 bulge in the fourth quarter and a victory 74-66 over the Lady Britons on the 8th day of December. And I know the Britons and Coach Carden have been looking forward to this date ever since that date.
Yeah, I think you have a completely different basketball team now, too, than you did back then. And you had some circumstances happen that obviously are beyond a coach's control in terms of foul-outs and things like that and the way that affects team chemistry. But I think you'll find that, you know, you and I have seen the Lady Brits enough so far this season after that game at Hope that this is not only a different ball club, it's a hungrier ball club, and they're really playing some inspired basketball. And they're going to need that inspired brand of basketball tonight because they're playing a top 10 team in the country.
When you take a look at the women basketball standings right now, you can see that on your screen at this point, and you can see where these teams stack up. Obviously, the ladies, the last time we were here, basically we're fighting and scrapping and playing some good ball. They went on the road for a couple of games, but now you can see where everybody lines up right now in the conference, Jim, and you got Trine on top, 9-0, 16-2 overall. You got Hope at 7-1, 15-2 overall. Brits right behind them at 7-2 and 14-3 on the season. Then it drops off dramatically from there as St. Mary's is only 5-4, Calvin 4-5, Alma and Adrian each at 3-3, and Kalamazoo yet to pick up that first win here in the MIAA for the 2018-19 season.
Yeah, it's a lot of separation, but this is the kind of game that if you want to look at yourself through that lens of being a top 2, top 3 team in the MIAA, you're going to have to get over the hump and win a game like this. What better night than tonight? What better place than Albion, Michigan to make that happen? Now,
saying that and doing it, 2 different things, because when you take a look at the national scene, and yes, I'm talking national scene, you go up to D3 basketball, D3 Hoops.
D3hoops.com, yep.
And you take a look at how they see the entire country and the way they see it. They see Hope and Trine being top 10 teams in the country with Hope coming in at number 9.
Yeah, you see the top 19 rankings on your screen right there, but right in the middle there, number 9 and number 10. Hope 15-2 overall, and Trine 16-2, and those 2 remain unchanged from last week. In fact, you look at pretty much until you get down to, well, the 4 and 5 flipped, and then it looks like, let's see, 17, 18, and 19 all changed. But, you know, there's a lot of consistency week to week. It speaks to not only the quality of ball being played by Hope and by Trine, again, the upper echelon teams in the MIAA, but it also speaks to the quality and the sustained excellence that those 2 schools have, because you could make a case that Trine, with a win over Hope and undefeated in the conference this season, should be ranked higher. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're talking about basically identical records. I think Trine has 1 more win, and Trine has a win over Hope. So, you know, I could easily see them flip-flopping and making Trine 9 and Hope 10. But you're splitting hairs at that point. We're at, you know, maybe the midway point of the season, and there's a lot of conference ball to be played. A lot of things will change. But, again, if the Britons want to view themselves through the lens of being one of those top teams, they're going to have to start knocking teams off like Hope and Trine and tonight's a good night to maybe get that rolling.
Well, and when you go back to the date between Trine and Hope, this was a game that was played at Hope over at Holland, Michigan on their gym, and it was a night where Trine went in and won 73-61. Trine shot 51% that night from the floor, and held Hope to 35% that evening. One of the big stars on this Hope team, and we'll talk about her here in a little bit, Francesca Buchanan. Coach calls her Frankie Buchanan. They held Frankie to just 9 points that night, and she averages right around 16 a night. So you can tell Trine did a nice job defensively that evening, out-rebounded Hope that night 36-20, and basically just dominated that basketball game from the beginning to end. So I think there are some out there who would say, why isn't Trine on top and that number 9 seed right now, and Hope at that number 10 spot? But again, as you said, 9-10, what's the difference?
There really isn't much difference. And if you're, not to spend too much time talking about those two teams when we have the Lady Brits here at home tonight with a big game, but if you're trying and you get a little bit peeved at something like that, where you say, where's our respect, we already won, you have one more chance to prove that. So you have one more chance to play them and really make your case clear. And if they're able to continue to go undefeated and they notch another victory over Hope at this point, at some point down this season, then that's certainly going to cement their claim. But, the only thing that really matters in that conversation is talking about two very, very good basketball teams, and the Britons aspire to be in that conversation in the MIAA as well. So, it's one thing for us to talk about it and theorize about it. It's another thing for Coach Carden and her ladies out there on the floor to make it happen tonight.
Well, you want to talk about back-to-back headaches for the ladies from Hope. They're in Albion tonight. They're in Trine on Saturday. So that question is going to get answered in a hurry, Jimbo. How's that?
Well, that's, iron sharpens iron. So if you want to find out how good you are, you kind of run the gauntlet of the top two. But, the thing to remember, the way the schedule shakes out for them, that's the second time playing them both, correct?
Yes.
So at that point, in theory, the conference schedule gets a little easier from that point. So if they can survive the next two games and get it done, then you have to think that the sledding gets a little easier down the stretch. But, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just focus on tonight for right now.
As we've always said, there's not an easy night in the MIAA, no matter where you are, no matter who you're playing. And we'll just leave it kind of at that.
Very true.
We're about 9 minutes away from the introduction of players tonight. I think the person that has the most to say about this thing is our coach. And so why don't we hear from Coach Carden right now here on the pregame show. You've got the Britons Network. It's going to be Britons and Hope shortly here from the Kresge.
Defensively, I thought we did a great job. We hold Trine to 59 points, but offensively we struggled. And I think a lot of that, Trine is a good team. Obviously, they're a top 10 team in the country. Defensively, they're really, really good. They're really physical, and we struggled a little bit against them. We make shots. It's a different game, but, that's just basketball. And then we go on Saturday, same thing. We, again, hold them to 41, 43 points, whatever that was, and played some good defense. But, again, just kind of weren't flowing like we usually do. We just got to get back in that rhythm and kind of find that groove, moving forward. At that point, Hope was, I think, the number 2 team in the country. So here we are, against the top team. We got down early, so, we realized that it's really, really tough to get down early against the team that's really good. Didn't play well in the first half. I think it was a 12 or 13-point game at halftime. And then it kind of just showed us that, we're capable of playing with the top team. We came back, had a big scoring flurry in the third quarter. We're up in the fourth, had chances to win, and they got a really, really good post player that kind of took over at the end, and it didn't help that rain fouled out for us. But we went away, knowing that, we're definitely capable of playing with them if, we get better. For them, they have a really good post player in Frankie Buchanan, who's an All-American, so we got to do a good job of really kind of pushing her out, not letting her get easy stuff, just kind of making things hard. I know she's going to get her points, but like I said, we got to really do a good job of frustrating her a little bit. Guard-wise, they're really good as well. I think with Hope, too, they have so much depth, which, again, they can bring in kid after kid. And we just got to play good, solid defense. I thought we played good, solid defense the first time, we were there. Just had a few breakdowns. Hope likes to run, and we're okay playing fast as well. So we just got to clean up a few things, and a lot of it was on the defensive end for us. I think a lot of it's just really getting our kids to believe. I know it goes back to when I first came here and our first win against Hope, and it goes back to the kids, that played in the players that played before this team. And I think because we've had success with them, it kind of just carried over. And when you can beat a top team and the kids see that they can beat them, you know, they continue to believe they can. And I think they just have a ton of confidence in that. And always playing Hope's just a fun rivalry. Maybe because, again, they're a top team and, you know, our kids are excited about that. But yeah, I mean, it's been nice. I mean, we've, you know, especially in our building too, I think they come and struggle a little bit, just like, you know, people do at third place. So, I mean, hopefully, you know, tonight we can get away with one here.
Welcome back to Kresge Gymnasium here on the College of Albion in Albion, Michigan. And Jim Bellamy and Jim Funderburg here tonight. Jimmy, the Albion ladies come in after a really nice basketball game Saturday afternoon against Olivet, where they won 64-43 at Olivet, Michigan. And talking to Bobby Lee tonight, the SID, that was an afternoon where several of these young ladies were kind of under the weather. A little flu bug going around, a little cold bronchitis. So to really play that well that afternoon when you're not really feeling all that well, kudos to them. Maybe they've gutted that one out and they're really ready for this big Wednesday night showdown. Yeah, and that's interesting perspective from Bobby too, because I was able to watch some of the webcast on that, and you know, without the benefit of commentary from Calvin, it was a really nice feed. And the Britons were playing excellent basketball. It looked like they were playing at maybe a little bit of a higher gear than the Knights were that day. You know, and again, that's the kind of squad that we've gotten used to seeing this season, maybe compared to years past. They just seem to be moving faster now. And you know, I'm sure that you know, the coaching has a lot to do with that, but it's also, you know, the gelling as a team. And the desire, I think, is even stronger this year than it ever has been that I can recall. And, you know, they're working hard. They continue to work hard. And here's where they're starting to see the dividends to all that hard work is even if they're under the weather, like you said, they still look like they're moving in a higher gear than their opponents. They played great team basketball on Saturday, and they really did earn that victory. That was a really nice victory. Sam Carter didn't really play that day at all. She was the one that was the most ill of the whole bunch. So stepping in her place was Brooke Schutte. Schutte had 10 that day. Evelyn Wishmeyer with 11, 14 for Rain Hitton, 6 for Jamie Hubbard, and Emily Burness with 11. So the starting five all in almost in double digits there. 4 out of the 5 were. How's that? Hey, that's balance. That's what you want. You don't want to pin your hopes on 1, maybe 2 players to get double digits and everybody else contributing with, say, 4 or 6 points. It's a recipe for disaster. And you got to give credit to Coach Carden and her assistants. They have really established nice depth on this team, and the team is really responding well. They're all looking out for each other, all contributing in at least one, if not multiple phases of the game, and it bears that in the statistics. No doubt about that. Now for Hope, they did not play a conference game on Saturday, so they've got the big doubleheader tonight and then heading to Trine on Saturday. So they did not play in conference on this past Saturday. So they're back in the MIAA here tonight with a couple of big games coming their way. Last time they got together, as we said before, it was Hope beating Albion 74-66. And it was a basketball game that night over at Hope where Evelyn Wishmeyer went off for 21 that night, and Emily Burness had 14, Jim. And whenever you can go to Hope and play these guys within 8, you feel like you've got at least a moral win, especially that early in the season. And you look at how they got that way. Coach Carden even said in her interview that they fell behind too far early. They stormed back in the second half, took the lead late, and then one of the key players for the Flying Dutch took over down the stretch when it really counted. As long as you don't dig yourself a hole, I think that, you know, you stand a much better chance. And again, this is a completely different Britain's team now than it was earlier this season. And you add in the fact that Rain Hinton fouled out the last time. She is a major contributor to this squad. Her energy, her hustle, her ability to take over a game in key stretches as well. So, you know, you lose that key player, and of course that's going to, you know, change the outcome of a game too. So I think being at home, knowing you can hang, and having all your players relatively healthy, hopefully no foul issues tonight, you might have a little bit different result. You've got a team coming in here, Jim, in Hope that has good size. When you take a look at their starting 5, Olivia Voskul is 6'3". She's a sophomore. Kennedy Schoonveld is a 5'10" sophomore. Francesca Buchanan is a 6-foot senior. She'll be in the post tonight for them. Sydney Muller, a 5'9" sophomore. Lauren Newman, a 5'7" sophomore. So they're young, but they're tall, okay? And again, the one thing that you can't coach is height. You can coach them to be aggressive. You can coach them to be quick. You can coach them to dribble and shoot. But you can't make a 5'6" person 6'3". And when you look at what they have coming in off the bench, again, a very young basketball team in this Hope basketball team, but they have the ability to bring in young ladies like Ashley Thompson, who's 6'2", Courtney Barnes, who's 6'1", Katie Majerus, who's 5'11", and the list can go on and on and on, because Hope does a great job of recruiting people, and that has a lot to do with Brian Morehouse, who now is in his 23rd year at Hope and has led this team to a 573 and 87 victory percentage, about 86% over his history here. 14 MIAA titles and a 2006 NCAA Division III championship over Southern Maine. So, a good coaching, good recruiting, good basketball team, and we expect a good game tonight.
Tail of the tape real quick. Hope gives about 77.8 a game overall, and they only give up about 50 a game. The Britons get 75 a game. They give up closer to 60 a game. So offensively, both these teams look like they're on pace to get at least in the 60s, maybe the 70s. The Britons are definitely going to need to be there in the 70s if they want a shot down the stretch.
Could be a shootout here at the Kresge tonight, and we're happy to have you with us here on the Briton Sports Network. Time for us to step aside, get the introductions and the national anthem here from the Kresge. So there you have our starters for tonight. As we said, it is Voskul, Schoenfeld, Buchanan, Muller, and Newman against Carter, Wishmeyer, Hinton, Hubbard, and Burness. And as we take a look around the MIAA here tonight at some of the other ball games that are on the docket here tonight, Jim.
We have Olivet traveling to Alma. That was actually an early tip tonight. Finlandia is at Kalamazoo. Calvin is at Trine. Hope, of course, here at Albion, the game you're enjoying right now or getting ready to enjoy. And St. Mary's travels to Adrian. That's on the women's side. Want to invite you to send us an email wherever you are around the state, around the region, or around the country. Webcast at albion.edu. Let us know who you're rooting for. If you're a family member of a player, let us know that too. We always love to hear from the family members of not only the home squad, but the visiting squad as well. We know that's a bit of a drive, so we appreciate you tuning in wherever you are around the country. And
to jump center here tonight, it'll be Olivia Voskul, and she'll be jumping against Rain Hinton. And the tap is controlled by Hope, and the Lady Dutch have the first opportunity of the evening. Great to have you here tonight. Obviously, Doreen Corder will join us at the end of the ball game tonight as Hope moves it around to the right wing, down on the right block. Shot is no good, and Wishmeyer's right there to clean up the rebound.
Wishmeyer, again, been battling that left shoulder issue for seemingly for as long as we've known it. There's a bad pass right there and a cookie jar foul.
And let's see, it will go against the Britons, so Jamie Hubbard will be the young lady with the foul. At first, I assumed that's where it was going, but then the hesitation, you weren't sure there for a second, but the official gets Hubbard's first foul of the night. And that could be a big issue tonight, Jim. Fouls could play a big part of this basketball game.
Good strong drive, out of control shot, over the back, not called, and a rebound to the Brits. So 2 1-and-outs for Hope.
Schoenfeld with the miss, Carter with the basketball right now. The Brits bring it to the front court.
Have to protect the ball better this time.
Down in the corner to Burns for the show and go. And then a traveling call will go against the Brits. So 2 possessions and 2 turnovers. And the Britons off to kind of a slow start here early. But Hope's not been able to take advantage of it. It's still 0-0 here on the Briton Sports Network.
Nope, shows you the respect the Brits have for Hope's defense, though, right there. Driving strong, but still not sure-footed. Got to attack more.
Bosco gives the basketball off to Muller. Kicks it down into the corner. Drive the baseline and a whistle. And
on the floor.
This will go against the Brits as well. That'll be Emily Burness. Picking up the foul on the baseline. That'll be 2 now on the Brits, and Burness's first here of the night.
They add up quickly.
They sure do. Throw goes right inside, and they go to their senior. The only senior on the floor is Buchanan, gets the first bucket of the night. And Hope goes in the lead 2-0 here early.
Nice cut.
Burness with the drive. Yes. She's got the bucket, and she'll get the foul as well. And I'll tell you what I like about this ball game already, Jim. The student section is on our section in the first half. That means Hope's going to have to play into it in the second half of basketball here tonight.
So we don't have to set up a mid-court water bottle and snack tray exchange to get them to move over.
Free throw is no good. The rebound comes off to Schoenfeld, and it will be Hope's basketball and a tie 2-2 game.
Wide open.
Left corner, wide open shot was contested at the very end. No good, but the rebound and the putback is Voskul, and it's 4-2 Hope.
Yep. Kind of snuck in from the backside right there. Long shot usually means long rebound, and Voskul, very tall player, great position, easy putback.
Carter kicks it to Burness, who drives the lane. Scoop shot goes in. There's a little friendly Kresge bounce right there. And the Britons have tied this up at 4.
I like the pressure. I don't like the wide open look, though.
Schoenfeld wide on that 3-point shot. The putback also wide, and the Brits Hubbard comes down with a rebound. Well, I'll tell you what, those 2 shots didn't even catch iron, Jim.
No, but that's not going to be the typical result of the shot.
Good deflection. Tried the backdoor cut, and the ball was tipped away by Francesca Buchanan. End-to-end goes Hope. We'll get a charging foul, wipe out the bucket. First foul of the evening against Hope. Will go against Lauren Newman.
Got to say, though, Jim, where were those feet set?
Yeah.
It might have been inside the circle there.
Very close, and I think Miss Newman was questioning that same decision there as Kayla Russell will check in here for the Hope Flying Dutch, and she'll be joined by Casey DeSmit.
Here's the best part of the foul situation we talked about earlier, though. 2-2 now in terms of fouls, just like that.
It can go back and forth in a hurry. Burness on the cut, tries to kick it back outside to Wishmeyer, but it gets taken away, and the Brits having some troubles with ball control here early. And then it goes through the hands and out of bounds off of Kayla Russell, who just came into the ball game. It'll be Brits basketball. So maybe the nerves for both these teams early, Jim.
I think that speaks, Jim, directly to they know how big this game is. Even though it's barely at the midway point, just past the midway point, you know how big this game is.
Brits with 4 turnovers already on the night. Hope now with their second of the evening. Again, that backdoor cut is not open because of the length of Buchanan. And we've got a wrestling match at the key as Hope goes the other way. Schoenfield kicks it back outside to Voskul. To the right wing for the three-point shot is no good by Buchanan, but she comes up the rebound.
Just always around the ball.
Over to the other side, it's Voskul for 3, and this time she's got the distance. 7-4 now, Hope.
Long-range player right there. Good shot. Can't leave her open.
Rebounding so far pretty much even between the two teams as we got a whistle as Sam Carter heads to the rim, and the first foul of the night will go against who did he get that on? 12? Yeah, he got it on 12. Casey DeSmit.
Third team foul against Hope.
Having a hard time seeing whether 2 fingers or 3, and I thought there's no 13 on the floor, so I've added another finger from up here.
Good block.
Good block on Burness as Burness back under those trees. They're finding it a little difficult to go onside, and the thing that I've missed right now is where has Rain Hinton been here early, as we have a jump ball situation underneath the Hope rim and the arrow pointing towards the Britons. So far, so good when it comes to Coach Morehouse and their ability to lock down Rain Hinton here early. As Maya Gillum will check in for the Britons to give them maybe just a little more size, as they've had some troubles with the length underneath that rim on the Hope end.
Size but energy also, Jim. This is a physical basketball game and you're expending a lot of energy, so you're going to need both these teams their depth's going to be very much tested.
Blocking foul will go against Voskul. You wonder what's going on with Rain Hinton. She's locked up with the senior Francesca Buchanan in a one-on-one battle on the offensive end. And so far, Buchanan is winning that war here early. Carter will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
Got to say hi, Haley, Isaac, and Cole Muller, number 22, Sydney's siblings, and Ben and Bia Broersma, our grandparents rooting for Hope from Grand Rapids, said, love your commentary, great knowledge. We also love anyone who pronounces our last name right.
We try. That's all we can say. With a last name like Funderburg, which is mine, you understand.
Of course, I butchered the grandparents' last name while I was reading that. I should have just kind of skipped over that part. So
Carter gets 2. This one bounces out. She gets 1 out of the 2, and the rebound comes off to Buchanan for Hope.
Pressure the ball.
Brits have been living on that pressure most of the year when we've seen them play, Jim.
Even
end to end.
You have to. I mean, you got to keep the hands up, got to eliminate the line of sight, the vision, so that they can't find the open player.
Russell cuts under a couple of Britton's arms and finds her way to the rim. It's 9-5 now for the ladies from Hope.
Good strong step through right there. Anticipated contact, but was pleasantly surprised by the lack of it. And the clean pass to the basket.
Carter gives it to Hubbard. Hubbard looking for some room, gets it to Wishmeyer, and I think it went, well, as they say, it went off of Hope. It must have gone off of DeSchmidt, I believe, underneath, because it did look like maybe it went off of Britt and was going to be Hope's basketball, but official right there on the spot pointed right to DeSchmidt and says it went off of you, and she didn't even blink an eye. 5.5 to play, first quarter.
Man,
9-5, and the Brits turn it over again.
Bad ball handling right there and great defense. One usually leads to the other.
Kick to the corner to Russell, no good. Rebound tipped around and saved by Buchanan on the end line. Mallory Gerber into the game. Gets it into Buchanan, who left it a little bit short. Now they wrestle for it, and this time the jump ball will go Hope's way. I'll tell you what, you don't see Buchanan miss too many of them from right there at the rim. So far the Brits shooting 67% at this point, but they're only 2 for 3.
I was going to say, that's usually not many shot attempts.
Hope has 11 tries already. They're 4 of 11 here early to get their 9 points.
Usually have a plus 10 advantage on rebounds, too, as a team, and they're definitely winning the offensive battle tonight.
Jump shot hits the back of the iron. Russell works with it, but Wishmeyer takes it away from her.
Kind of lost the handle on the way down.
Gillum for 3, no good. Rebound again to Buchanan.
Great box out.
Well, you understand this young lady's been the MIAA Player of the Week 3 different times already this year. The senior that everybody else in the league is going to be happy to see graduate at the end of this one, as the shot is missed and goes out of bounds and will stay with the Britons.
A lot of contact for no whistle right there, and I think that's what Coach Morehouse is thinking too, that, man, it was either going to be a block or a charge, and yet just a lot of contact and no whistle.
Natalie Cutt comes into the basketball game, back in as well as Lauren Newman for Hope.
Need to hurry up and get this one across the timeline.
And Mallory Gerber in as well for the Hope Lady Dutch. Carter dribbles all the way to the lane, then loses the handle. And I think we're going to get a reach-in foul that will go against Hope, and that will go against Ashley Thomas, who checked in to give Francesca Buchanan a breather. That will be 1 on her. It will be team foul now number 3, number 5.
Wow, they add up quick.
Yeah, they did add up quick. Carter gets the first free throw.
But here's the thing, Jim, is you look at all the energy they have expended on both ends of the floor to only have 6 points at this point in the game. I mean, Hope's subbing more. The Britons are expending a ton of energy, and they only have a few shot attempts. So, I mean, really not a lot to show for all that energy.
Burness comes in for Hubbard for the Britons as they get 1 out of 2, and so far tonight, Sam Carter is 2 for 4 from the charity line. Newman dribbles, kicks it into the corner. Back out front to Russell, who loses the handle but caught it before it got to the midcourt stripe.
Wide open look.
Left wing for Lauren Newman for 3. And just like that, they've doubled up the Britons 12-6.
Here's a player who needs to get hot.
Wishmeyer for 3. She answers, and the Hope crowd comes, or the Albion crowd comes to their feet. Now full court pressure in the backcourt.
Hope has some people here, but not that many.
Ball goes off the foot of Wishmeyer, I believe, and will be Hope basketball.
I think that actually went off the Hope player.
So it looked like it to me, but at the same time, again, the official right there.
Well,
and we've got to be, I think we're down to 2 seconds to get this across the midcourt stripe, though, I think is what he's signaling down here, because that took a while.
Going to have to throw a long pass. You can't move on that out-of-bounds play, though.
Ball comes to Russell, who gets double-teamed immediately. And now we have a hook on Russell.
She used her left hand there to hook around the hip right there.
And that has been a point of emphasis in college basketball this year, that hook and carry even, where you hook and then you pull them away from their spot, as Hubbard will check in and Rain Hinton will sit down. And I'll tell you what, we've not called Rain's name at all tonight.
Well, what do good teams do?
Early,
they take away your best weapon.
And so far, that is exactly what's happened. Rain Hinton yet to even take a shot in this basketball game early. Carter crossover, back out to Wishmeyer. Down on the baseline, kicks it outside. Jump shot, a little bit short by Gillum. And Hope's on the run.
Turn around on defense. There you go. Good hands.
Good defense that eventually ends in the hands of Emily Burness. Gillum in a hurry. Pulls it back out as the Hope ladies get back on defense. To Hubbard.
Man, they're just playing such good defense.
In between a couple, scoop shot will stay in. And just like that, we've got a 12-11 game. Long pass, but it's caught by Sydney Muller, who goes to the rim. Whew. I'll tell you what.
Track meet.
Wishmeyer on the other end. Double team. Kick out. 3. Burness, no short. Rebound. Hubbard was lost. I think it hit the baseline. Whose ball's it going to be? Ooh, boy, I tell you, it looked like it was dribbled out of bounds by Hope, but they say that she was the ball must have already been out of bounds when she touched it, or she was out of bounds when she touched it. And it will be Hope basketball, and I think that's probably the proper call because she was right on that end line.
Yep, they were both down there, both had a hand on it. 50-50 ball. Both teams, though, really selling out for those loose balls, Jim.
This has been a good basketball game as Muller Burness on her. They'll work it around the wing. Buchanan's still sitting on the bench right now. She's getting a nice long breather. Carter with the tip away, but it's picked up by
change
Newman.
of possession.
4 seconds to shoot, 3 seconds to shoot. Half-court shot will catch nothing.
They have to, though.
And it will be Briton's basketball as the shot clock was running out. Yeah, there really not much she could do. She might have had one more step in her path to the rim, but she had to set and go because she was at 3 and counting at that point in time.
Yep. Carter did the best thing right there, not trying to go too aggressively for the loose ball past midcourt. Let her waste the energy trying to get it.
Carter brings it up. Top of the circle to Hubbard. Bounce pass goes inside to Hinton, and it gets tipped away, and Muller has the basketball. Swings it over to the left to Newman. Newman pulls up from about 10 and catches nothing but cords. 16-11 for Newman. That's 5 now on the night.
Just so comfortable on offense.
Yeah, they are. Well, you understand this is a good basketball program, and you're going to have to set your sights on beating a team like Hope if you're going to win the championship, as this ball gets tipped away. Trying to force the ball into the low post to Hinton, and they're overplaying that pass to Hinton. Maybe the show to the bounce and the lob to the rim is going to be something to get her off the schneid, because Rain Hinton yet tonight has not even taken a shot.
Well, think about that idea, though. The lob pass has been blocked at least 3 or 4 times. They've tried it.
Hinton changes feet but can't get it to go. She had the double team that time. Hubbard gets it up off the floor and lays it in.
How did she find that step through to the oasis by the basket right there with 3 players in her vicinity?
Under a minute to play, 16-13. Flying Dutch tonight. 3-point shot will go. Wow, I'll tell you what, they've lit it up here. Sydney Muller with that one. 19-13 now as we're working our way down to the end of quarter number 1.
Need an answer right here. You can't let them go on a 6-8 nothing run.
Carter kicks it outside to Burness. Back over to Hubbard, looking for somebody. And again, she has Boscule on her, and the ball gets tipped away by Schoenfield.
That's out of control. Yeah.
Rain Hinton hasn't done much offensively, but she did pick up a charging call against Sydney Mueller. And with 18 seconds left to go here in the quarter, coach is coming out to say, hey, how about that circle down there again?
Yep, that's exactly what he's saying.
Just looking at him right now.
Dip in the shoulder, though.
Yeah.
You had a player in that case, Jim, who lowered the shoulder.
Brian Morehouse questioning the official where the position was of that defender, and was getting no help. None whatsoever. Officials were convinced that that's where it was. You can see the replay on that there.
Well, in that particular case, though, it's all about dipping the shoulder. I want to say hi to Mary and Jean watching in Orlando. They're rooting for Hope. Man, Orlando.
Yeah, there you go.
A little bit warmer in Orlando right now, I think.
I bet there's probably at least 6 inches of snow down in Orlando right now. That's what I'm telling myself, Jimmy. How's that?
That works for me.
That's my story.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, as a reminder, you can send us an email at webcast@albion.edu, and we'll be sure to say hi to you on the air. We appreciate you tuning in. And again, coming up, we'll give some folks updates on the basketball schedule coming up for the Britons.
Britons to this point shooting 50%, but they've only taken 10 shots. Hope has 20 already. They're 8 for 20 from behind the arc. Hope is 3 for 8 at 37.5, and the Brits just 1 for 4. Hope yet to shoot a free throw. The Brits are 2 for 5 from the charity stripe, which doesn't help as well. And then you go down and look at turnovers. The Britons with 8 turnovers in the first quarter. Hope with 5 already here. Both teams well over their season pace, and I think you can rack that up to the defense. Lob pass to Hinton. There's the bucket that maybe will get Rain off the schneid for the rest of the night. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, long shot, no good. Rebound, Wishmeyer, and the buzzer will sound before Wish could get a look.
And so that was close, Jim. That was a mid-court heave, and that was close.
We've played one here at the Kresge, and the Britons trail the Lady Dutch 19-15. Wow, what a basketball game.
If you want to get some first quarter stats, I'll give folks some information. Number 1, A true Albion College tradition, the annual Taste of Blackness is sure to be a celebration. Join our students for an evening of African and African-American culture through food, music, dance, and art. The event begins at 4 p.m. tomorrow in the Gerstacker Commons and the Kellogg Center. So that's tomorrow beginning at 4 p.m. Good time.
Let's take a look at some individual stats right now. Voskul, Muller, and Newman all with 5 points each for the Lady Dutch here tonight. 2 for Buchanan, 2 for Kayla Russell. On the Brit side, Hubbard has 4, Burness with 4, Wishmeyer with 3, the one three-pointer that's been made. She's 1 for 1 from behind the arc. Carter with 2, they came from the free throw line, and Rain Hinton just got her first bucket right before the end of the quarter here today. So it has been an interesting basketball game. We kind of gave you the shooting percentages before. Rebounding-wise, Jim, you said they always out-rebound the opposition by 10.
Yep, they're plus 10 on the season.
Right now they're up 3, 12 total rebounds to 9 for the Britons here early on.
How are they doing on the offensive glass?
Offensive glass, they have 5 of those 12 compared to just 1 for the Britons. So out-rebound us on the offensive glass by 4. And let's see, second chance points. It's been 5 for Hope and 2 for the Britons so far. 2 bench points for the for Hope and 8 points in the paint, and that's basically been the difference of the game. Brits have not been able to get down low, and Hope has done a nice job of getting to that low block and finding some easy buckets there. Burness with the throw up, no good. The rebound comes off to Hope. Voskul with the rebound, and I'll tell you what, as we said, you can't teach size. That young lady is 6'3", and she's used that to do a nice job to pull down those missed shots. Ball goes to the low block, and again,
good patience on offense here. Good defense by the Brits.
You know, Buchanan again not on the floor again for Hope here, Jim, as we start the second quarter. Shot no good. The rebound comes down to Ashley Thomas.
What a spin off the glass right there.
And Thomas is able to find her first bucket of the night. So, you know, again, Buchanan, the senior all-conference player, I don't know whether she's a little under the weather here tonight or what might be the case. At this point in time, she's seeing a lot of minutes on the bench here tonight for Hope.
They're going to need to start setting some screens up top, Jim.
Wishmeyer works along the baseline, then loses the handle as she runs out of real estate and runs into Olivia Voskul. Well, there you go. On cue, here comes Buchanan back into the basketball game.
Want to say hi to Jay Lee Carter, Sam Carter's family, watching from Kentucky. Appreciate them tuning in. Also, Jessica Mormon, number 3. Grandparents, Carol and Bill, enjoying the game from Northville. So appreciate them tuning in as well. Thank you so much.
Love having you in. Love talking to you. Let us know what you think, what's on your mind, and you know, all those kind of good things, as we'll try to bring you a great basketball game tonight here from Albion. Schoenfeld kicks it off to Voskul, who hits one from the right baseline at about 10, 12 feet.
That gave her a couple steps and a clean lane, and again, because of her size, she doesn't need much separation. She's able to get that shot up pretty much over everybody.
That's 7 on the night for her, as Rain Hinton will answer on the other end. And finally, Rain may be getting off a little bit, as that's her second bucket here in the last 2 minutes.
It's all about, you know, the emotional side of it. You get a couple to drop right there, it alleviates some of the frustration she felt early in the first quarter.
Voskul, a young lady who can really dribble that basketball for being 6'3", very agile and athletic.
She can also shoot from outside. There's a bad pass.
Toss that one over Frankie Buchanan's head and out of bounds, so the turnover gives the ball back. But Buchanan comes out and says, great idea, just pull it down about a foot.
Yep, I'm not as tall as you.
Exactly.
If it was reversed, I would throw that pass.
Carter will bring it into the front court.
They won't make that mistake too many times, though. Let's be honest.
Wishmeyer looked like she was open along the baseline, and then Russell stepped in and knocked it away.
That was a physical game, Jim.
Voskul pulls up from 20, no good. Russell there for the rebound, but it gets blocked away, all ball. And I believe that was Burness that got that one. Hubbard looking for some help. Gives it to Hinton. She'll move into the...
That's a charge.
Yep. And again...
Same thing you called on the other end, dipping the shoulder right there.
Buchanan definitely was on the outside of that circle, but you're right, Jim. Anytime you lower that shoulder, more than likely it's not going to go your way.
Yep, especially when the official is right there. They see the head of steam, they see the head go down and the shoulder dip. If there's contact at that point, you know it's going to be an offensive foul.
Boskul out, Gerber back into the ball game for Hope here, 23-17. Lady Dutch on top early into quarter number 2.
That said, it should not deter Hinton from driving strong.
Three-point shot is way too long, and Burness is down there to pull it off as Newman missed. Long outlet to Hubbard, who takes the step, the Euro step, and gets around, no good. Buchanan there for the rebound. It's kind of one and done tonight for the Britons. Russell will fire for 3, no good. It's long to Wishmeyer. And again, the long outlet to Burness. She's double teamed, spin, up and good, but they're going to say she took one too many on that turnaround.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call too. You take your emotional hat off and you put your rational hat back on for a second. You see there was a jump stop and then a spin and then a step. Something had to give.
So the Brits trying to push that action, trying to get that outlet pass and run against this Hope basketball team tonight. Long three-point shot will go down for Mallory Gerber, who just entered the game. And Gerber was left wide open, and she said, "You're going to let me have this good a look, I'm going to make you pay for it." 26-17. Carter down the lane, layup will stay. Thought that was going to be maybe a little too hard, but it got the front of the iron and stayed home. And for Carter, that's 4 now in the night. First bucket from the floor.
And it's fair to wonder also how Sam's doing. If she wasn't doing well on Saturday, it's only been a few days. Are you 100% yet?
Newman kicks it back out to Schoenfeld. Back inside to Buchanan, who bounces through 3 Britons.
Ooh, don't fight over that ball.
I'll tell you what, Jim, when they've been on the mark, they've been on the mark, and when they've missed, they have missed miserably. That shot was, again, not even close to iron. 5:21 to play, quarter number 2.
Then you need to convert on the other end to make them pay.
You definitely do.
Oh.
Pass to Hubbard a little too high. She leaves it behind her, and right there to pick it up is Gerber.
Now he just needs some more defense here.
Again, the Britons already with 12 turnovers here on the night. On the season, they're only averaging 17. Jump shot no good. Hinton fights for the basketball and comes down with it.
Yeah, you're not going to outfight Rain Hinton for too many loose balls.
Carter gives it to Burness. Again, comes through a couple.
Out of control.
The Brits just look like they're trying to force it a little bit here in the first half, and Burness then with a real difficult foul as she comes back and fouls Russell. That's frustration at that point in time. Having missed that shot, been a little bit out of control, and she'll come to the bench, sit down and talk as Brooke Schutte will check in for the Britons along with Maya Gillum.
Well, knowing what we know about Hope, Jim, they're playing uncharacteristic basketball right now, and you have to credit the Britons' defense for that. But the same can be said for the Britons. They're not really playing their style of ball, and I think that's all because of the quality of defense that they're facing too, though. Both teams are frustrating the other team. You just have to survive a game like this because this one may not be the prettiest thing in the world because you have 2 very good defenses going at it.
Muller makes a three-pointer that makes it a 10-point game here. Hinton is set down for the Britons when Gillum came in instead of her, and Schutte on the basketball floor, hoping to maybe give them another ball handler as they'll pull it back out with 6 to shoot. Carter to Gillum in the corner. She'll show, she'll bounce, she'll shoot, no good. The rebound again comes off to Gerber.
They need an answer, not that kind.
Wide open under the bucket is an easy lay-in, and all of a sudden it's now a 12-point contest as Francesca Buchanan gets an easy one. And with 3:43 to play, I'll tell you, Coach Carden, I think, needed to have this timeout to get things reorganized a little bit because her ladies just playing a little bit outside of themselves right now.
Yep, good run by Hope. The good teams do that, Jim. You can't dig yourself a first half hole. It's what happened last time. It's happening right now. And Hope's not really wowing you with anything in particular on the floor. I mean,
nope.
They've missed a lot of shots, bad misses. They've turned it over quite a bit. The difference is so have the Brits tonight.
Yeah.
Again, it's just been a defensive kind of game that, you know, you get a few bounces going Hope's way, and that's the 12-point cushion that they have right now. Neither team's really lighting the world on fire, though.
Well, it's a 12-4 second quarter right now. Hope is on top as winning this quarter by 8. They've only got 10 down on our official stats, but we're missing 2 points there. It's 12-4. It was 19-15 at the end of the first quarter. And it's 12-4 right now, second quarter for the Hope Flying Dutch. And the Britons going to have to settle, right the ship, and cut that in half before they get to that halftime break, for my money.
And look how much they're having to work. Travel?
Yep.
Look how hard they're having to work just to get a possession, Jim.
Hope really playing some great defense, Jim, tonight, as you said. No doubt about that.
And it's really, what they're doing right there on defense, that's a long-term investment. Because then you look at the second half, you get them fatigued, you get them frustrated, and that's how a 10-point lead can become about a 20-point lead.
Jump shot, fall away, comes back out, tipped out of bounds, though, by Gerber, and it will be Briton's basketball. Into the lineup comes Ashley Thomas, and Buchanan will sit. You wonder maybe if they're setting Buchanan a little bit, knowing that they've got a big game with Trine coming up this weekend where she might have to play extra minutes. So they're trying to get her with the lead here to get a little rest, not have to worry about some things. And again, obviously, we don't have a clue whether she's got a little bug or a little bump somehow that she's trying to nurse through for a night as well.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what it was on Saturday.
Carter will bring it up, works around the screen. Right side, but still a Hope player right in front of her. Schutte will take that shot for 3, and it's not good. And the rebound comes off to DeSchmidt. DeSchmidt double teamed in the backcourt. See if the Britons can get the ball away. There it is. Good job. Hinton out to Wishmeyer. Lets them all go by. Misses the shot. Hinton with the rebound. No good. Wishmeyer with the putback in the harm.
And that was probably the least of the 3 fouls right there that were committed. I'm not sure what, probably talking about the trap and thinking, I did hear hand on hand right there during that pass too, but again, they've been letting them play a lot tonight.
They have.
Because I could make a case that the first 2 ups were fouls too.
Wishmeyer with an opportunity to bring this back under double digits here real quick, and she does.
Continue to take advantage now.
Come down and trap that basketball into backcourt, see if they can force a couple more turnovers. Gerber, she'll bring it across the timeline where she has it.
Wide open.
She's got a wide open shooter on the left side. No
Over the
good.
Back.
Tipped away as Gillum couldn't get up to get it, and then the reach-in foul or the blocking foul will go against Rain Hinton.
And she was in the circle.
Yep.
So even though she was out of control right there, that was I think that was kind of your makeup call maybe from before. Hey, I want to say hi to some folks out there. Guys, enjoying the broadcast. Wish I was there. Jim Carden.
Ah, there you go.
From Clinton Township. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, get a message from Karen Brucker. Love watching the Brits. Thanks for the broadcast. This is Evelyn Wishmeyer's Aunt Karen, Uncle Dave, and cousins Haley and Cameron from Springfield, Ohio.
I'll be darned.
Got a couple more. We'll get to those here in a moment.
Gerber only hits 37% from the free throw line, but she knocks both of those down and makes it an 11-point game again. And the Britons have 2 minutes and 11 seconds to try to whittle away at this lead a little bit and then go back in at halftime and reorganize the troops. Gillum cut off. No place to go. And I'll tell you, that's one thing that Hope has done really well tonight, playing defense with their feet. And just as I say that, there comes the reach in by Jess Mormon. But they have been, man. That has been the problem. The Brits have not really had many good, wide open looks tonight, as there's always been somebody in a dark jersey right in front of them.
There's no clear path.
Nope.
Not up top, not underneath, nor in between.
Carter to Wishmeyer for 3, a little short, and the rebound boxed out. And that, again, is Ashley Thomas. As I said, they bring length off the floor.
You can't do that.
Oops. Thomas will pick up the foul. The ball goes back to the Brits.
You have to credit Sam Carter for being pesky on defense right there, just kind of getting under your last nerve.
Gonna have to do an awful lot more of that here tonight if we're gonna pull one out this evening.
Well, I mean,
but that's okay, plenty of time.
You have to be pesky, you have to hustle, you have to play tough defense. That's what it's gonna take.
Carter then threw it into a whole pack of flying Dutch.
Every player paying attention.
3-point shot, no good. Ball tipped around, and it will stay with Natalie Cutt. Gerber for three, no good. Rebound tip.
Over the back.
Yeah, finally.
She had her elbow on her shoulder going for that loose ball right there. That's an easy call. I don't care how tall you are. You got to have position.
That's the second time that one's happened. They didn't get her the first time. So Thomas will come to the bench. Buchanan will come back in. And Coach Moorman over here just talking about that. She's not happy with that call, but again, she got away with that about two trips down the floor before that.
You probably get away with that in high school.
Yeah. But
you're probably the best on the floor, but now you're playing some pretty good competition out there.
Carter faked the pass and went to the rim, but put it up a little too hard.
Probably anticipating contact, but didn't get any. There's a near walk.
Hope with the basketball at the free throw line. Back out front to cut. They'll reset. Moorman kicks it to Gerber for three. Too hard. Jump ball again comes off to Hope.
Out of control. Ooh, that's going the Brits' way, I think.
There you go. They're going to say that the Brits had all ball. She was heading down the lane.
Let this one stay in here. My bad.
Okay.
Brits still have time, theoretically, for one more possession.
27 on the shot clock, 34 on the game clock. 11-point spread here as we're heading towards the half.
Got to get it back under under double digits.
Gerber got to take her time, and they'll bring the ball back out, and they'll take their time as DeSchmidt walks back towards the midcourt stripe.
Yep, no rush.
11 to shoot. 9-8.
Good screen. Double screen. Good poke.
Wishmeyer kicked it away, but it'll stay with the Lady Dutch. I thought maybe that DeSchmidt had kicked it as well, but I think it was Wish that got the foot on it. Went out of bounds in front of their bench. Gerber with the three-point shot, no good. 6 seconds to go now. The Brits have plenty of time if they'll move their way down. Carter loses the handle, and that's how the half will end, as Sam Carter having some tough times in amongst the trees. And the Brits will go to the locker room trailing by 11, 33-22 here on the Briton Sports Network. Wow, I'll tell you what, tough bunch. You're scoring 70 plus a night, Jim, and you're held to 22 in the first half. I'd say that you'd have to take your hat off at this point in time to the Flying Dutch's defense.
Yep, job well done by the Dutch defense, absolutely. Jim, want to give folks a couple of updates on basketball schedules coming up. The Albion women's basketball team will be in action at home Friday night when it hosts Finlandia University for a non-league matchup. Tip time has changed. It is now 6:30 p.m. So this Friday, Finlandia at 6:30 p.m. Also, the Albion College men's basketball team will be on the road Saturday night for an MIAA matchup against Olivet College. That is a 7 p.m. start in the Cutler Athletic Complex. GoBrits.com.
Very good. And in the second quarter, basically the Brits outscored 14-7, Jim. It was 19-15 at the end of the first quarter, and 14-7. The Brits only able to put up 7 points in quarter number two.
Good defense.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Both teams struggling on offense, bad misses, not taking care of the ball. But I think I'm going to look at the glass half full way of doing this and just say that it's two really good defenses. It's not offenses that aren't, offenses aren't clicking, there's no question. But I think it's caused by two really good defenses tonight.
No doubt about that. Well, why don't we step away for just a couple minutes? When we come back, we'll look at first quarter or second quarter stats at the halftime, and we'll get you ready for the second half of basketball here on the Briton Sports Network.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Back here at the Kresge on the Briton Sports Network with the Britons down 33-22 at half. We take a look at some halftime stats. We'll start with individual stats here for the Flying Dutch from Hope. Olivia Voskul with 7 points tonight, 3 for 4, 1 for 1 from behind the arc. Sydney Muller with 5 points, 2 for 4, 1 for 2 behind the arc. And let's see, 2 rebounds also for Voskul. And Lauren Newman with 5 points, Mallory Gerber with 5 points. Francesca Buchanan with only 4 points in the first half. If the Brits have done anything well, Buchanan only 2 for 7 from the field. Kennedy Schoenfeld with 3 points tonight, 1 for 6 and 1 out of 2. 1 for 6 from the, and that was from behind the arc. So 1 for 2 for 3 and 1 for 6 total from the floor. She's got 3 assists also here tonight. 2 points for Kayla Russell, 2 points for Ashley Thomas here tonight. For the Britons, it's been a tough first half. Wishmeyer with 6, Sam Carter with 4, Rain Hinton with only 4, Jamie Hubbard with 4, Emily Burness with 4. Britons having a real tough night trying to play against this long, scrappy team from Hope. Hope shooting only 33% from the field, but they're 13 of 39 tonight. And the Britons only with 21 shots so far, so the percentage is a little deceiving. They're hitting almost 43%, but they're only 9 of 21. From behind the arc, Hope has done a much better job tonight, although it's not been fantastic. They've taken 18 shots. They've only hit 5 of them. But for the Brits, they are 1 of 6 from behind the arc, something that does not happen all that much here, and the Britons going to have to get that taken care of here in the second half. Free throws, the Brits are 3 of 6. Hope 2 for 2. When it comes down to some real important issues tonight, turnovers, the Britons with 15 of them tonight compared to 8 for Hope here. Points off of turnovers, 12 points for Hope and 6 points for the Britons. Rebound-wise, they have moved that gap, Jim. You say they out-rebound teams by 10. They've out-rebounded us by 7 so far, 24-17. And let's go down a little bit. Defensive rebounds, pretty even, 16-14, with the Brits actually with a 2-rebound lead on that situation. But offensive rebounds, 10 offensive rebounds tonight for Hope to just 1 for the Britons, which makes it really, really difficult. Points in the paint, pretty even, 16 points for the Britons, 12 points for Hope. Second chance points, again, another difficulty for the Brits so far, 9 for Hope and 2 for the Britons. Fast break points, Brits have yet to pull off a fast break, and Hope with 4 points on 2 runouts here tonight.
Yeah, the 2 stats that really jump out to me, number 1, bench points, 9-0, and your lead is 11, so there you go. Also steals, 10 steals for Hope, 2 steals for the Brits, and a lot of those steals came from when the Brits were in the set about the 3-point line, trying to advance from side to side to work it inside. They would try either a diagonal cross-court pass or an entry pass, and you got to give a lot of credit to Hope on defense. All 5 players are typically looking at the ball, communicating, and they're not just looking, they're getting their hands up.
Yeah.
So you get those entry passes, those cross-court passes. All they're doing is just putting their hands up, and they're eliminating the passing lane. And when you do that, that's, number 1, a sign of a very fundamentally sound and well-coached basketball team. But number 2, it takes away that passing lane, and it usually results in a turnover. So you have to credit them just playing good fundamental basketball. Yeah. If they didn't do that and those passes were open, you may very well be looking at a completely opposite score.
No doubt about that. Scores from around the conference, Jim?
We have on the men's side, Kalamazoo defeated Adrian 67-62. That was an early tip. Alma leads Trine at the half, 48-37. Start of 2, Hope is leading Albion 39-27. And Olivet is leading Calvin late in the first, 38-29. On the women's side, Finlandia wins an OT against Kalamazoo, 68-58. Alma defeats Olivet 63-44. Adrian defeats St. Mary's 60-51. Halftime, Trine over Calvin, only by 7 though, 35-28. And your score here, the Lady Brits trail at the half, 33-22.
So we'll go back to the starting 5 for both these teams, and Hope will be going towards the student section here in the second half. For the Britons, it'll be Sam Carter, Evelyn Wishmeyer, Rain Hinton, Jamie Hubbard, and Emily Burness. And on the other side, Olivia Voskuhl, Kennedy Schoonfeld, Francesca Buchanan, Sydney Muller, and Lauren Newman.
Now you see some screens up top.
Wishmeyer kicks it back outside, and it's stolen
steal.
away. End to end. Nice job by Carter to knock that ball away from Newman and save the early bucket and get the ball back. Lob pass, Hinton underneath, left it short, tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Britons on their end. Wow, it's just gotten to be that way here. It's one of those nights. Rain Hinton, you'll not see her miss that shot another time probably all year long.
That's frustration.
Yeah.
That's a first half full of frustration right there.
Brits only scored 7 points in quarter number 2. Wishmeyer kicks it back out to Hubbard on the top. Over to Wish, who's looking for that open three and not going to get a look at it here tonight. Bounce pass is kicked in the lane and it will stay with the Britons.
Again, just good fundamentally sound defense by the Dutch.
33-22 as the lob pass comes into Hinton, who's double teamed. Spins around, puts up the shot, no good, and the rebound comes off to Lauren Newman. So the Britons off to a slow start to open up quarter number 3. And they're going to have to play some serious defense here and keep Hope from extending this lead. If you can keep it at 11 and then start cutting into it, you're in good shape. But just as I say that, the senior with the entry pass and the touch off the glass makes it 13. Buchanan now with her 6th point of the night. Burness a little too hard, and the ball gets bounced around and stays with Hope. They're on the run. Kick goes out into the corner, sets herself and then shoots. No good, and Hinton will pull that one down. Muller with the shot.
She's not going to miss many of those when left that wide open, though, Jim.
Well, Muller on the year is a 42%er from behind the arc, so you're right, Jim. Cutting Sam Carter gets behind 23 Lauren Newman and has an easy lay-in, and it's back to 11.
And that's rare to see the guards unimpeded down low like that with the size that Hope has. Usually there's at least one player there to deter the shot.
Brits brought Hinton out.
She's already made one.
Jump shot is good. I'll tell you what. Olivia Voskuhl is on fire here tonight. That's 10. And that's 2, as Jim said, from behind the three-point arc tonight.
Yep. You have to guard them from the three-point line in.
They're feeling it tonight. I'll tell you what, Hope with a good evening tonight. They took the weekend off from the conference.
Good block.
And the kick out comes the other direction. Carter with a good job of playing some defense. Muller looking for a foul. Morehouse looking for a foul. Official says all ball, play on.
Either that or how could that person have blocked the shot and not knocked it out of bounds, I think is the question. Because nobody on the floor was contesting, hey, I got hit.
Ball came right back and went out of bounds with the Hope player. 14-point lead. Hubbard gets it all the way to the rim but puts it up too hard. Hinton with the rebound, and she goes up, she'll be fouled. And we'll see who this will go against. Will it go against Voskuhl?
Voskuhl, yeah.
And that will be 2 on Voskuhl now as Rain Hinton will get a chance to go to the free throw line. Hinton a little frustrated here tonight. But again, we talked about the length and the size of this Hope basketball team. And they have doubled and triple teamed Rain down in that low post all night long. And you would think you'd be able to kick out for a wide open three. And when you get the ball back outside, there's somebody waiting to contest that outside shot as well. Hinton misses the second shot, and the rebound comes off to Buchanan.
The Brits need to frustrate Hope as much as Hope frustrates the Britons when they play defense.
Voskuhl with the basketball, and again, we say, young lady can really handle that basketball. Long three will go in. And right now, Hope not having any problems with that crowd. Lauren Newman knocks that one down, and for Newman, that's 8 tonight.
Now, if this game gets to single digits, then it's going to get a little more dicey. But right now, when you're with a nice double-digit lead, it's a little more relaxing.
Wishmeyer pulls the trigger but can't get it to go, and the rebound one and done again as Hope has the basketball, not allowing the defense to set up in the back end. They'll kick it to the right corner for 3, no good. Ball is bounced around, and we've got a whistle underneath. Wishmeyer was trying to get up and get the basketball, but couldn't get to it. And we've got a technical foul, I believe, that's going to go on Voskuhl, or there's just a little conversation, because she was complaining quite a bit to the official about what was going on, and the official now saying, okay, no more conversation here, let's play basketball. Not real happy with that call. Foul goes against Hope, and it'll be Briton's basketball.
And the foul was against Schoonveld, but the person talking allegedly was Francesca Buchanan.
Bucket on a backdoor cut by Burness will cut this thing down to 14, and that's 6 now for Burness tonight. Maybe that'll light a fire under the Britons here tonight for the remainder of this third quarter and the rest of the second half.
Always curious to see as a coach when you feel the momentum, the calls are going against you, you get an and one, things like that. Sometimes you'll call a timeout and you'll just let everything simmer down. Other times you'll just see how your players respond, and I think with a 14-point lead, I think I'd see how the players respond. These are battle-tested kids.
Schoonveld pulled down the rebound, and Hope has the basketball again. And they'll kick it to the corner to Schoonveld. She'll show, and then she'll dribble to the lane. Puts up the shot, no good. But the putback right there for Olivia Voskuhl.
That's the best way to quiet things right there.
16.
Quiet the nerves inside of you as well as the crowd.
16 points cushion now as the three-pointer for Burness goes down. And the Brits need somebody like that to step up and hit 3 or 4 of those and cut this lead in half. Kick comes to the corner to Muller. She'll go to the rim, and the blocking foul will go against Rain Hinton.
Yep. Inside the circle right there, stuck the hip out. That's an easy call. Sent it to the line for a pair.
And for Hinton, that'll be 3 now on the night.
Muller on the season, about as good as it gets, 85% from the charity stripe.
Well, in fact, how confident are the Hope ladies? They're not even on the in the lane at this point in time for the first one. Now they'll take up their positions after they watch that first free throw go down. Rain Hinton will come to the bench, and Maya Gillum will come in off the bench and take her spot on the low block. Muller eyes the second one and makes that one as well.
Russell getting ready to check in, I assume, for the shooter.
Russell in, Muller out. Carter with the basketball. Couple of young programs here. Couple seniors on the Britons team, only one senior on this Hope basketball team. So these ladies are going to square off with one another for the next couple of years. As Wishmeyer works the baseline, as she tosses it back in, it gets tipped away. Hope all the way in, and a nice job by Carter to say no thank you. Lauren Newman thought she had an easy one.
If Sam's not careful, they're going to start asking her to jump on the opening tip.
Coach Morehouse not real happy down here, but that was nothing but ball, and there's not much you can do. Unfortunately, she was out of real estate, and Lauren Newman went face first into the bleachers down there. Coach Morehouse not happy about everything. Newman for 3 off the front edge, no good. And the rebound and the foul will go against Wishmeyer. And right now, Hope just wants it a little bit more as Schoonveld pulls down the rebound and gets fouled. They're just in the right spot right now with the right energy, Jim.
Dennis Van Morik checks in with the Hope Albion score. Appreciate that.
Easy look on the bottom end there for Francesca Buchanan. Buchanan has had a very quiet night. She has 8 now. No personal fouls. Has sat quite a bit of that first half. I don't know, again, whether maybe she's got a little bug or whether they're just resting her a little bit. Whatever they've done has been quite successful as they're up by 17. So they've not really needed it all tonight. Wishmeyer having a hard time with the basketball. Kept it alive. Jump shot for 3 is off to the right, no good. Rebound by Carter.
And it hit the rim, so reset.
In the corner. Carter picks it up and then loses the handle as she makes the spin, and the reach-in foul will go against Hope. And they'll call that on Lauren Newman. Newman will check out. Casey DeSmit will come in along with Ashley Thomas. Olivia Voskuhl will sit down.
Got a message from Jeff and Michelle Barnes, parents of Courtney Barnes from Hope. They're watching from Mokina, Illinois. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight.
Wishmeyer looking for some room, kicks out to Carter on the wing. Back out front to Burness. To Gillum, 16 to shoot. Gillum all the way to the rim, too hard, and the rebound comes off to Russell, and Hubbard goes over the top. She'll grab the foul.
Frankie Buchanan's Aunt Pat and Uncle Eldon from Chesaning, Michigan also watching. Appreciate them tuning in. How far is that away from here, Jim?
Where's that from?
Chesaning.
Oh, I don't know. I have no. You'll have to ask them. They'll tell you. I'll bet you, huh?
Yeah, write us a note and let us know how far that is. I'm curious.
I do not know. Jump shot for three. If it goes no good, it's too hard. Wishmeyer there for the rebound. Wish makes the move on Schoonfeld and then loses the handle to Russell.
Every interior pass is being met with at least one deflection. Nice pass.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, Thomas missed the bunny. Russell pulls down the rebound. The foul will be on the floor to go against the Britons. It'll go against Gillum. That'll be one on Maya. And a team foul now for the Britons. That's number 4. Both teams with 4 team fouls here in the third quarter.
Appreciate Lauren DeYoung sending us a note with information about some of the pronunciations. We apologize for some of the last names. Definitely doing our best, but it's not always easy when you're in the moment.
and when we have one wrong, we appreciate you letting us know so that we could try to clean that up just a little bit.
Totally fair.
The whistle will go against the Britons. It'll be a 2-shot foul, and it will send Kennedy Schoonfeld to the free throw line for a couple. First one is good. Substitution will bring Molly Gerber back into the ball game, along with Olivia Voskel.
Dan and Shay Russell watching in Clarkston. They're rooting for number 24 for Hope. It's a good ball player, Jim.
Second free throw is a little bit too strong, and Jamie Hubbard's right there to pull it in. Yeah, no doubt about that. There's some very solid basketball players on this floor tonight. Some of them are wearing white, but they're having a real difficult time as Russell will get called for the reach. That's 2 on Russell now.
Russell just wanted a little extra airtime right there.
She got it. How's that?
Yeah, she got it. This was also going to get points, so no worries.
Britain's outscored 14-8 so far in quarter number 3. So in the last 2 quarters, the Britons only scored 15 points. They had that many in quarter number 1. As Carter makes the first free throw. 7 tonight for Sam. And make it 8. And the lead now back to 16 with 3 minutes to play in this third quarter.
Good defense starts a run.
Russell.
Somebody got to step out.
Wide
That's
open there, but they didn't take it. And a good
threw,
job by Hubbard to stand her ground and take that charge.
Threw the hip out at the end there when she went airborne. If she would have gone straight up, number 1 wouldn't have made contact. Number 2 definitely wouldn't have charged.
Schoonfeld will come out.
Little playful banter between the student section and the Hope contingent over there. We have, I'm going to assume, a demonstrative fan who doesn't always agree with the officials. Never seen that at a basketball game.
Never happens. Never happens. Russell also to the bench. Cut comes into the ball game there for Hope, along with Casey DeSchmidt. Tell you what, Wishmeyer just not really had any real estate tonight to be able to take a shot. Carter had that one swatted away, and it's saved by Hope on the baseline. And that was DeSchmidt who just came into the basketball game. Muller kicks it to Voskel. No good. Rebound comes off to the Brits, and the reach-in foul will go against Hope. That'll be Natalie Cutt, who just came in.
Cookie jar foul right there.
Yep.
It's good. They're doing a good job of knowing when to strategically kind of get that hand and poke for those loose balls. That's one where you weren't really in position, and it wasn't really a 50-50 at that point.
So Gillum will get a chance to shoot the one in bonus. Up 2 shots, I'm sorry. 5 fouls for both teams right at this point in time.
Have to start knocking these free throws down, though. They're giving you a chance to stay in the game. Have to take advantage.
You got to start making everything right at this point in time.
Yep. Buchanan checks back in. And Gerber takes a seat.
And the Britons will pick up full court, but it's just a very loose full court defense.
They have to conserve energy. Still a lot of ball to be played.
Cut behind her back, around everybody. And the bounce pass into the lane of Buchanan, and before she can grab that ball and head towards the rim, the reach-in foul will go against the Brits on the push. That'll go on Gillum, and that's her second now in the night. Buchanan hits the first one. Only a 64% free throw shooter. If she has any weakness, I guess it would be to send her to the free throw line, because she hits 50% from every place else. And she knocked both of those down too. It's 50-33.
So much for it being a weakness, right?
Yeah, not much of a weakness, is it, huh?
Nope.
Britain's now going to try to spread things out just a little bit. See if they can't work some sort of play, but I'll tell you, they just have not been able to find anything that will open up a shooter tonight. Burness goes to the rim, puts it up too strong. Wishmeyer takes the ball away from Bosco and puts it back in.
Look how hard they had to work for that basket, though.
50-35, and this one Wish gets it, almost got it back.
Yep. Stepped in that dangerous pass. They say when you're on the opposing side, you never want to throw a cross-court pass underneath your opponent's basket right there. That's exactly why. If you get a tip.
Brits steal it away, but give it right back.
And then got
to reach in on Wishmeyer.
Yep, a little too physical right there. They were out of control, got helped out by the foul, but still too much contact.
So that is 3 now on the night on Evelyn Wishmeyer.
Muller, again, 85% free throw shooter.
And Muller makes the first one. Again, this is the time of the year when you want to start playing your best basketball, and Hope looks like they're doing exactly that. They'll travel down to Tryon for the weekend and play a game on Saturday against the Tryon Thunder, and that will be a battle, I'm sure. Second shot is also good.
It's a grind-it-out kind of game right here, Jim.
And you're going to have to start grinding a little harder if you're a Briton.
Well, I mean, you know, both of these teams are used to playing a much faster tempo. This is a much more physical contest, I think either team thought it was going to be. And it's also a much more difficult task for both teams.
Throwing that ball around way too much, but Carter doing a good job on the other end. And then the reach-in foul with a little frustration will go against number 12, Casey DeSmit.
And isn't it amazing? A frustration foul for a team that's up 17 with just over a minute to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, no
doubt. It shows you what kind of game it's been.
Yeah, you think they want this ball game tonight? A win tonight gives them 2 wins over the Britons for the season. So when it does come down to tournament time, and Burness makes the first one. You know, again, the Brits, the MIAA have gone to a slightly different format this year. So 1 and 2, the 1 and 2 ranked teams will get the night off on Wednesday, but the 3 and 4 teams will host the 5 and 6 teams this year. So they'll play a play-in game on Wednesday night, so you don't automatically become the number 3 or 4 place team and get a chance to go to the Final Four this year. You actually have to play your way into this whole thing. And I'm sure Hope is thinking a little bit about that right now. They'd like to set their sights on knocking off Tryon on Saturday and trying to get that 1 seed, but either way, if they're a 1 or a 2, 1 gets to host, 2 has to go to the other people's home floor, as Olivia Voskuhl knocks that one down.
That's just it, is they have to keep pace now.
Yeah.
They're not used to being in that position. So, you know, again, you talk about a team who really wants it, Hope in this case, but they know they need this game just to get to Saturday to keep pace.
Burness along the baseline, cut off, kicks it back out. Gillum from way downtown off the front iron. Burness with the rebound, couldn't get it back in, and the rebound this time goes to Hope, and they throw it out of bounds.
Fighting hard for the loose ball. Both squads really going at it still with 20.3 seconds to go here in quarter number 3, but it's one of those deceptive 17-point leads. It doesn't feel like a 17-point game, but that's what it is.
Britain should have the last shot as the shot clock turned off here in the quarter.
We'll get you conference scores here at the end of quarter number 3 to get you all caught up on men's and women's MIAA action.
Britons with a little better third quarter than the second, as they scored 15 points so far. Carter has that ball tipped away, and I'll tell you what, Sam Carter, who was ill and didn't play on Wednesday, looks like maybe she's still not 100% here tonight. But I'll tell you, Hope has had a big part in that look as well tonight.
Yep. Good defense will make a good offense look bad.
Carter scoops at the buck buzzer and almost got it to go, but she doesn't. And so Hope will take a 17-point cushion into quarter number 4 as they outscore the Britons 21-15 in quarter number 3.
While we're waiting for the conference scores to load, want to let people know the Red Cross will be on campus tomorrow for a blood drive. It's scheduled for noon to 5:45 p.m. in Tennant Hall of the First United Methodist Church. And also, Briton Bound is a visit program designed for admitted students to get a feeling of what it is like to be an Albion College student for a day. Briton Bound programs are scheduled for Monday, February 18, Friday, March 15, and Monday, April 15. Visit albion.edu/admission to register.
If you look at this stat alone, Jimmy, you'd think it'd be a really close basketball game. The Brits have shot 35%. Hope's shot 33%, but Hope's taken 20 more shots already tonight. 57 tries compared to 37 tries for the Briton here through 3 quarters. They've only hit 19 of them, but the Britons have only hit 13 of their 37. So it makes it a little bit difficult when you start to look at something like that. And yeah, that's 7 out of 25 from behind the arc compared to 2 for 11 for the Britons. So
that's plus 15 right there.
Not a good situation here tonight.
17's your edge, and they're plus 15 from 3. They're even on free throws. Both, I think, have 9 makes on the game.
Yep.
But the Britons have also missed 6 from the charity stripe. Around the conference, real quick, Kalamazoo defeats Adrian 67-62 on the men's side. Trine leads Alma late second half, 75-73. Hope is leading Albion early in the second, 41-32. Olivet leads Calvin mid-second, 57-53. And we'll get you the women's scores next.
Jump shot for Voskuhl is no good, and Wishmeyer there to pull down the rebound. Olivia leading all scorers with 14 here tonight as they go to the low block to Hinton. And Hinton has a traveling call before she even gets to pull the trigger. So it's been a tough night for Rain Hinton tonight, as Hinton with only 5 points tonight, 2 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. She does have 5 rebounds, and she has 3 personal fouls. Kick from the corner will be good from 3, and that is Natalie Cutt. And just like that, the Britons are about to go down by 20. They're down 19, 56-37 here as we open up quarter number 4.
It's that long-term investment we talked about earlier, Jim. You tire them out on defense the first couple quarters, and then it forces them to make mistakes, start getting a little lax on defense, and you run out of gas at some point, no matter how much you sub. You have to really work twice as hard to get good looks, and the Britons, everything has been contested tonight.
Hubbard was triple team, lost the ball out of bounds. It'll stay Britain's ball. Hubbard with a 3-point shot, no good. And the long rebound comes off to Lauren Newman. And Newman and the Hope Flying Dutch run it into the front court to slow it down. Buchanan slips as they try to feed her the ball in the post, and it goes out of bounds.
It wasn't a bad pass, like you said.
No,
she just slipped.
It was an excellent pass. It just really, when she went to make that stop, she lost her footing and the ball went out of bounds. So the turnover gives the ball back to the Britons with just under 9 minutes to play here in this basketball game. Carter for a long 3, no good. Rebound tipped away by Voskuhl and is maintained by the Hope Flying Dutch. Newman dribbles, baseline, and a hard foul as she goes to the rim. I'll tell you what, a little frustration on that one, I believe, by Evelyn Wishmeyer, as she saw the runner coming to the rim. And she says, "You're not going to get an easy one on me this time." And Lauren Newman hit the floor pretty hard here at the Kresge.
No malintent on the block, just a physical block.
Yep, first free throw was wide right. That's all you can say about that one. Buchanan going to come out and sit down, and they're going to bring in Ashley Thomas. And that's not probably a bad idea by Coach Morehouse, because this ball game could get really nasty as it goes down the stretch. You got a Briton's team that, pretty frustrated here on the night, and you'd hate to lose your star player on some sort of accidental bump or shove or push. And this game can get a little physical as it goes. It has been a tough night.
It's been a very physical ball game as it is.
Ball gets tipped out of bounds from Wishmeyer. It'll stay with the Britons, who are down by 20. With just 8 to go here in the game. We'll get a chance to talk to Doreen Carden after the ball game. Sure, she can't be overly happy with what she's seeing tonight. You kind of wonder, and we'll ask her a little bit about how the team's physical health here was tonight. They just have not looked that sharp. Part of that obviously has to do with the way that Hope has played tonight as Hubbard knocks down the triple. Need a few of those here in a hurry to get back in this basketball game.
Stop, make. That's what you need.
Newman going to slow things down per her coach.
Stranger things have happened, but it all starts now on defense.
They'll probably try to work it into that into the shot clock a little bit more. 3-point shot no good. Rebound by Hubbard.
And that's kind of playing off right there, the same 50-50 ball that maybe Hope would have tried to fight for the loose ball. You look at the lead, you look at the time. Do you want to invest the energy necessary, or you want to just kind of let that one go?
Brits need to invest the energy right now, and they need about 3 or 4 stops and a couple of threes to get this thing within reason within 5 minutes. Another 3-point shot, and that one's got nothing but net as well. Emily Burness with 14 now on the night. Britons need to play some defense. They need to get the basketball back, and they need a few more tries than Hope. 3-point shot is long, and Rain Hinton fought for the basketball, but Voskuhl goes over the top and pulls it in.
I can't be happy if I'm Hope with all these 3-point shot attempts with the lead being what it is. They're not playing Hope basketball right now, and I think that may be part of what that timeout's about right there.
I think
they're
you're
letting
right.
themselves settle into a 3-point shooting contest. You don't play that way when you're up big in a ball game. That's an easy way to let a lead erode.
Because you got to believe if Hubbard could make the that rebound right there, or if Hinton could pull that rebound in right there, you go down the other way and another 3 makes this an 11-point game, and you've got more than half of the fourth quarter ahead of you yet. So, at that point in time, probably a very good timeout by Coach Brian Morehouse.
On the women's side, again, a final in overtime. Finlandia defeats Kalamazoo 68-58. Alma defeats Olivet 63-44. Adrian wins at home against St. Mary's 60-51. Trine in the fourth, 53-39 over Calvin, so they're starting to extend that lead. And your game here, 57-43. Hope leads the Brits.
Well, Jim, there is enough time left in this ball game.
Sure.
If the Brits can get 3 or 4 good stops and answer with points and get this basketball game down to about 6 or 7 with 3 or 4 minutes to go, you get game on again,
Number two things for you. Number one, Chesaning is about 100 miles from Albion.
Okay, there you go.
We ask and we receive. Thank you so much for that email, Pat. Number two, I'd be stunned if they shoot another 3-pointer right here. Absolutely stunned.
I would be too. I think you're hit on that one.
At least on this possession.
Schoonveld kicks it back outside as Sydney Muller comes in.
Mark.
And the Brits with the block and the ball knocked out of bounds. Almost a steal there by Lauren Newman. Brits will maintain the basketball. And I'll tell you, I do think Sam Carter looks like she just is running on about 75% tonight. I know she didn't play on Saturday.
They got a lot of, I'm just saying, I don't know what she had on Saturday, but a lot of upper respiratory stuff, and oxygen being the fuel that drives you. If you have trouble with that, then it's going to make life tough.
Burness looks, then drives. 5 to shoot. Out to Carter. Wishmeyer at the buzzer, and that one doesn't catch anything. And the 30-second clock will run out, and the ball will go back over to Hope.
A little bit out of rhythm on offense there.
Desperation shot by Wishmeyer. Boy, if they could have knocked that down, it would have made it 11 with just under 6 to play in this ball game. Bosco kicks it back outside to Newman. Newman sets the play. Cutters down along the baseline. Brits have them covered relatively well. Bosco with the walk. Nope, they're going to get a 3-second call in the lane on Buchanan. I'll tell you, that's the other side with this Hope team tonight. There's been a few that looks like maybe that one foot's moved a little bit more than what it should. Very close. Really wouldn't have changed the game a little bit, but they got the 3-second call against Bosco, which I think might have been a walk on that one.
Can the Lady Brits dig deep?
Rain Hinton has Buchanan on her, kicks it back outside to Burness, who's kept him in the game a little too hard, and Buchanan's right there for the rebound. Almost can't afford to miss much of anything here for the Britons over the course of the next couple minutes.
Nope.
They've got to whittle away into that lead a little bit.
Because you know Hope's not going to continue to be cold from the floor.
Nope, that's for sure. Muller working to the lane, triple team, kick out to the left corner. Drive to the rim, no good. Ball is fought for, and a reach-in foul will go against Buchanan, I believe.
Yep, I think she went over the back.
And the Britons will have the basketball back. I tell you, the last couple trips down the floor for the Brits, if they could have just scored both times, this could be a 10-point game right now or even closer. Going to have to stop having those wasted trips down on that offensive end.
Brooke Schuette's grandparents are watching the game from Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, I'm sure there's a foot of snow out in Tucson tonight, and it's probably chilly, Jim. I'm glad I'm in Albion, Michigan, where it's going to be about 8.
Get a note from Mary Assink, says, what are you saying about the MIAA tournament and also not shoveling snow in Orlando? Those are two very, very separate thoughts, but I'll let you handle the tournament part.
Well, the Orlando thing, you know, we're just wishful that you had the cold temperatures down there that we've got up here. But the tournament this year, they've added an extra round in this tournament, so the 5 and 6 seed will also get a chance to play here. 3 will play 6, 4 will play 5.
And 3 and 4 will host.
Yeah, and 3 and 4 will
sites.
host. And 1 and 2 will sit out, and 1, as always, will host the tournament as a whole as both free throws go down. And we do have a 12-point contest, Jim, with 4.5 minutes to play. So that is a new wrinkle this year that the MIAA came up with. Down to Muller, and she is fouled as she drives to the rim.
Good smart play right there. Instead of settling for that maybe 10, 12-foot jumper, put it on the floor a couple times, do a head fake, try to get your defender airborne, draw some contact. Even if you don't get an and one, at least you know you're getting the foul going to the line.
And she has been perfect from this free throw line tonight. Sydney 4 for 4. And the first one we jinxed her. That's exactly the reason I pulled that up. So if you're a Hope fan, I'm sorry, but I'm not rooting for you tonight. I'm enjoying your team. You got a wonderful coach, you've got a wonderful squad and a wonderful tradition, but I'm a Brit fan, so I'm still hoping for the Brits to pull this one out as Muller makes the second one.
Shout out to Evelyn Wishmeyer from the Coolmans in Ottawa, Ohio. Grandma Depker says, go Ev, go.
So it's a 13-point game. The Brits were down by 20 here not long ago. As Carter gets to the rim, but a whistle before she gets there, and the common foul will go against Hope. Now that is will be 4 team fouls now against the Flying Dutch.
And they're saying that was actually in the act.
Oh, I guess it was.
I was thinking the same thing you were. That
kind of looked like they got her just before she made that launch towards the rim, but we'll take it. How's that? Carter misses the free throw. And I'll tell you, that's unusual too. Sam now is 4 for 7 on the night. She's a 71%er, and she misses both of them. But Rain Hinton there to pull down the rebound, but the triple team caused her to cough that basketball up. And I'll tell you, Rain has just had a rough night tonight as Cut brings it into the front court, gives it to Muller. Brits need a takeaway or two right now. Down to the corner to Voskel.
Hope just needs to extend it.
Into Buchanan. Oh. Wishmeyer almost tipped it away. Hinton with some good defense down there, but they find Muller cutting down the lane for an easy lay-in. 60-45, it's back to 15.
When you see a Hope player cut, they're always cutting in the direction of progress.
Yeah.
If they're heading, inbounding the ball in a full court pressure, you'll see a player fake towards the opposing basket and dart back the other way, and that pass has been open. Same thing on the offensive end.
Checking back into the game comes Kennedy Schoonveld. Sam thought she was going to be able to hit Hinton inside, but Hinton has seen 3 jerseys around her all night long. Wishmeyer looking for a pick from Hubbard. Gets it, kicks it to Hinton, who's just inside the 3-point line when she knocks down that bucket. And for Rain Hinton, it has been a quiet evening, and it's been a very good defense so far tonight by Hope. That's 9 now for Hinton. She also has 4 personal fouls.
The Albion College women's basketball team will be in action at home this Friday night when they host Finlandia University in a non-league matchup. Tip time has been changed to 6:30 p.m. And also the men's team will be on the road Saturday night for an MIAA matchup against Olivet College. 7 p.m. start at the Cutler Athletic Complex.
When you look at the remainder of the season, Jimmy, the Britons basically have Saturday off, and they will play with Adrian next week at Adrian on Wednesday night. Then they've got Trine on Saturday, or they've got Calvin on the 2nd of February, and that will be at Calvin. On the 6th, they'll be home here to Alma. On the 9th, we have that game here on the Briton Sports Network against Trine, and then Kalamazoo on the 13th, and St. Mary's at St. Mary's to round out the season on the 16th. For Hope, as we said, they go to Trine on Saturday. Next Wednesday, they will have Kalamazoo at their place. Then the following Saturday on the 2nd, they'll be at Alma. They'll be at Calvin on that following Wednesday. They'll be at home with Calvin on that following Wednesday. Then they go to the road again with St. Mary's and Adrian in Saturday, Wednesday tilt, and they'll finalize their season at home on Saturday, February the 16th against Olivet. And the Brits now trying to dial up that pressure and keep this game alive. 13 down with 3 minutes to play. Muller kicks it back outside, and Hope going to be very happy to take a little time off the clock.
I think the directive is no more threes.
Muller on the right wing, and that's got to be a travel.
Got the foul before.
Yep, on Burness.
You're right, though. That was a Euro step and maybe a little do-si-do.
If you don't reach at that point in time, Muller had run out of real estate, and she was going to walk her way right into the bleachers there if you let her go. But the reach-in bails her out, gives them another 30 seconds, and the inbounds right underneath their bucket.
Time, a precious commodity right now.
Yep, there you go. Thought about taking the three by both of them, and nope.
No chance.
Buchanan back at the Muller. They'll work the other side. They will take a three there. No good.
Believe.
Hinton pulls it back down as Kennedy Schoonfeld misses the shot. Burness for three, a little short, and the rebound fought for. Buchanan and Hinton go to the floor, and the arrow pointing towards, the Britons. So Britons will inbounds the basketball.
I'm
2.5 to play.
Stunned that Hope shoots a three at this point, Jim.
Wishmeyer puts it up and has it knocked almost out of bounds. Sam Carter got it before it went there. Burness shows the three. Wish comes off that three-point line and drains the long two. 60-49 as coach takes a timeout.
It's not over.
11-point game, a few stops and a few buckets. And this could be a nail-biter yet here on the Briton Sports Network.
The Red Cross will be on campus tomorrow for a blood drive. It's scheduled for noon to 5:45 p.m. in Tennant Hall of the First United Methodist Church. There is a severe shortage. If you go to redcrossblood.org, I believe, they've mentioned that there's a severe shortage around the country right now. So if you can give, please give.
Voskel with 14 points. She leads all of the Flying Dutch here tonight, but she had that at halftime, Jim, so a good job by the Britons of shutting her down in the second half. Sydney Muller is having a good night, 12 points tonight. Francesca Buchanan with 10. Lauren Newman with 9. Those are the four top scorers for the Hope Flying Dutch. For the Brits, it's Burness with 14 points tonight. 2 for 6 from downtown. Wishmeyer with 10. Only 1 for 5 from behind the arc tonight for Wish. And Rain Hinton with 9 points. Sam Carter with 8. Jamie Hubbard with 7. Inbounds is stolen by Sam Carter on the baseline. And a blocking foul will go against Hope. And the Britons still have a little life in them.
Getting a little sloppy.
Nice job by Sam Carter. And you look at her, Jim, every time she gets to a resting spot, she's reaching down and stretching the back of those legs out like things just aren't quite right. And Carter with a chance to shoot a couple here, and she leaves the first one short. And I think it's shown there, too, in those free throws all night long.
You're exactly right. I believe she's missed her last 3 now.
Carter gets the second one off the front iron again, and Hubbard can't pull it in. Muller does, and the reach-in foul will go against Schutte.
Missed free throws. How many as a team do the Britons have
too
missed
many.
from the line?
Way too many.
We'll the lead's 11.
Let's see here. We'll
sure
get that
makes you
for
wonder.
Muller brings it in, kicks it down to the left baseline to Buchanan, and Buchanan gets fouled as she tries to lay that one in.
Frankie caught a break right there too, Jim. Driving right there, had an easy up look, decided to put the ball on the floor in traffic, and you have to pull that back up when the hands are reaching for that loose ball. So gutsy move right there that resulted in a whistle.
Britons are 11 for 20, Jim, for the charity stripe here tonight. So if they shoot just their normal 74%, you got another 5 or 6 points up on that board, and this is about a 5-point game
it's a
right now.
Two-possession game.
Yep.
And these free throws become even more critical for Hope. And
Buchanan
they missed them both.
Missed both of them, and Hinton and Hubbard are there to pull down the boards.
Have to push.
Kick to the corner. Wishmeyer gives it, Bernis gives it a show. Into Hinton. She steps out, puts it up, no good. Bernis tried to pull the rebound down, but Muller is the one that comes up with it, and she'll bring it to the front court.
Got a foul on Carter.
Carter almost had to do something because Muller was running pretty much unabated there into that front court, trying to get that ball back, and you look at her going towards the sideline right now. There's just something wrong in those calves.
She's 100%. Yeah.
She's just not feeling good tonight. She's giving it everything she's got, but you can just tell that Sam Carter tonight is just not having a Sam Carter kind of night.
Imagine if this were about a 2 or a 3-point game right now, as much as Hope struggling from the line.
Vosco comes back in. Buchanan and Vosco now on the midpoint there of that charity lane.
Man.
And they missed them both. Boy, I'll tell you, she doesn't miss many of those.
Struggling down the stretch from the line.
And you can see Carter, man, she just looks like she's totally tightened up in that lower body. 3-point shot's no good, and the rebound comes off again to Hope. Minute 42 left to go in this one. It's an 11-point contest. And you got to wonder if Hope's going to take the air out of this one. Bernis with a reach in on Muller, who just went to the free throw line and missed a couple. And now you're probably going to play that foul game here for the rest of the way out. Hope that they miss and hope that you can catch a little bit of fire. Muller, as you said, Jim, missed those last 2, and she's an 85% shooter. At one point in time, she was perfect on the night. We jinxed her for one. And then she missed 2 on her own there.
Again, they were missing without pressure. And I think that's finally settling in that it's not a high-pressure free throw situation.
So that's 7 for 9 now for Sydney Muller from the free throw line here tonight. Wishmeyer has the ball taken away. She didn't see the cutter coming underneath Lauren Newman, and Newman done a nice job tonight. That's 2 or 3 steals for Newman. Let's see, we'll check that real quick. Newman this evening, I don't have individual steals on my score sheet, my stat sheet right now, but she stepped in front of that pass 2 or 3 times tonight, Jim, where you didn't see her coming, and she just came out of nowhere and was able to pull that thing in. So again, the free throw line, and again, a miss by Lauren Newman. And the Britons have 1 minute and 23 left to go in this ball game. The second one, though, makes it a 14-point game. Tough night tonight for the Brits. Hope came in very focused, played extremely well. Brits have just not had an answer here most of the night. Carter leaves that one off to the right, and I'll tell you what, you don't see Sam Carter miss those kind of shots very many times. So I really do believe that once we get a chance to talk to Coach tonight, we're going to find out exactly what she's playing through tonight. And she has put in a gutty performance this evening, and that is 5 fouls now on Emily Bernas. She'll have to go sit on the bench for the rest of the night as Schutte will come in and take her place.
Yep. No idea what the ailment was that kept her out last week, but definitely not 100%.
Yep. Missed the game on Saturday. Tonight, I'm sure she felt like she had to get this one in tonight against Hope.
You got to be full strength. But, you know, again, if you're battling something, whether it's flu, whether it's upper respiratory, whatever it is, hard to be 100% a few days after you're sick, you know what I mean?
Schoonfeld makes 1 out of 2. Britain's call a timeout. We've got 59 ticks left in this basketball game, and Hope has a 15-point cushion right now.
Webcast at albion.edu. I know we're under a minute to play in the game, but still appreciate all the feedback. Got a lot of folks watching out there. A lot of folks who did not make the trip from Holland and the Holland area. So it's good to hear from the home fans, from the road fans. It's just good to hear from you, period. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Briton Sports Network.
64-49. Hope about ready to wrap up a victory tonight here in Albion. That'll send them to 16-2 in the on the season, and 8-1 in the conference. It'll drop the Britons to 14-4 on the season and 7-3 in the MIAA. Again, Britt sitting pretty comfortably in that number 3 hole right now, but I know Coach not really happy with that 3rd spot necessarily, as Hubbard able to fight around the Hope player there for the easy bucket. That's 9 now for Jamie, and the reach-in foul by Schutte will send Hope to the free throw line again. And again, it will be Lauren Newman to shoot the one and bonus. Again, not one and bonus. I keep thinking we've got to be farther than that. They've been to that free throw line so many times. 2 shots. First one's missed.
I think I know what Hope might be working on next practice, though.
Yeah, I would think so.
You're going to have one player standing at the line and everybody else under the basket yelling. I need everybody to work about 20 free throws.
15 of 24 right now for the Flying Dutch tonight. And that makes it 16 of 25, but still right around 63% for a team. That shoots right around that 65% of the year. So maybe we're wrong with that assessment. Hinton tries to get to the rim. Voskuhl says no thank you and swats that one out of bounds. And the sophomore really starting to get her eyes open tonight. She has really had a rough evening against this team from Hope. Carter is able to go up the ladder and pull that in. Gillum looks like she'll get a shot, then she goes underneath, puts up the shot, but it's missed, and Buchanan's there for the rebound.
Calling him off.
Shot clock has been turned off. Game clock under 20. And Hope's about ready to put this one in the W column here for the year, as Sydney Miller would just dribble this one out. Coach Morehouse very happy being able to get a win here tonight in Albion.
It's a hard-fought victory.
Yep. Coach Carden probably not feeling quite as happy about the whole situation as she sees her team drop a big game today, and really just had a rough night against a very solid Hope basketball team. They rank them number 9 in the United States right now, according to D3 basketball, and they rank Tri number 10. And 9 will play 10 in Angola, Indiana on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and that should be a very interesting contest when the Flying Dutch and the Thunder go head-to-head. Final score tonight, 65-31, or 51, sorry about that, 65-51. Fourth quarter, Albion actually outscored Hope 14-11, but that was the first quarter of the night where they held a lead. They were down 19-15 at the end of one. They were outscored 14-7 in the second quarter, so they were down 33-22 at the half. Third quarter, they trailed again by 6, 21-15, and then finally the fourth quarter outscored Hope by 3, 14-11. But unfortunately too little, too late, and they fall to Hope tonight. The Britons do 65-51.
Yep. It's again, it's a test.
Yeah.
And it's still a lot of basketball yet to be played. The Britons definitely in that top 3 in the conference. Had an opportunity tonight to really kind of knock at the door and get a seat at the number 1, number 2 kind of table. But Hope holds serve, so to speak, wins the home and away, and they kind of stay cemented in that 1-2 kind of spot, depending on the outcome of the game this weekend against Trine.
Well, let's look at some team stats here real quick, Jim. Hope scores 65 tonight. They were 21 of 65, 32% from the field tonight. They were 7 of 29 from behind the arc, only 24%. 16 of 26 from the free throw line, 61%. They had 13 turnovers tonight. They had 20 points off of turnovers, 49 total rebounds, 16 offensive rebounds, 33 defensive rebounds. We'll look at the Brits to get you close so that you can kind of think of those numbers. The Brits, while Hope was shooting 32%, the Brits were shooting actually 33%, but they only got 54 shots off, which were 11 fewer than what Hope did tonight. They were 18 of 54. 4 of 19 from behind the arc. They caught a couple late down in the ball game, but only 21% tonight, Jim. 3 fewer three-point shots tonight, so there's 9 of those points right there. Free throw-wise, 11 for 21 compared to 16 for 26 for Hope. So the Brits only shot 52% from the charity line. And again, if they shoot their normal season average, which is 74%, you add a few more points on that total, and it's a little closer ball game. Basically, points off of turnovers, the Brits only was 6. Total rebounds, they were out-rebounded 49-41. Offensive rebounds, 16-10. Defensive rebounds, the Brits were out-rebounded 33-31. Assists, 17 assists tonight for the Flying Dutch to 13 for the Brits. Blocks, 3 for the Flying Dutch to 2 for the Britons. 16 steals, Jim, and I know that's a big number on your side, to just 3 steals for the Britons tonight.
And then bench points.
Yeah, look at the bench points there, 11-1. Fouls are pretty much equal to one another. Second chance points, 16 for Hope compared to 17 for the Britons. Points in the paint, the Britons outscored them in the paint 24-22. Fast break points, 4 for Hope, 0 for the Britons. When you go individually here tonight, Olivia Voskul had 14 points. She had them all in the first half. Sydney Muller tied her tonight with 14 as well, and she came on late in that ball game, made some big shots and made some big free throws, as she was 7 for 10 from the charity stripe here tonight. Lauren Newman with 11, Francesca Buchanan with only 10 here tonight. So a good job holding down Buchanan. It was just Voskul and Muller tonight that they couldn't deal with. Kennedy Schoonveld with 5 points, Mallory Gerber with 5 points, Natalie Cutt with 2, Kayla Russell with 2, and Ashley Thomas with 2. On the Britain side of things, Emily Burness with 14, Evelyn Wishmeyer with 10, Rain Hinton with 9, Jamie Hubbard with 9, Sam Carter with 8, Maya Gillum with 1, and Brooke Schutte did not score here tonight. So for the Britons tonight, only 7 players total in the ball game this evening, as they fall tonight to Hope, 65-51 here at the Kresge at the campus of Albion College, and it was just a real tough night. Around the conference, Jim, I think most everything probably a final now too.
On the men's side, Kalamazoo defeats Adrian 67-62. Late in regulation, Trine leads Alma 87-86 with 4 seconds to play. With 12 seconds to go, Hope leads Albion 77-70. Olivet leads Calvin late in the second, 77-71. Minute and a half to go there. On the women's side, Finlandia in overtime defeats Kalamazoo 68-58. Alma defeats Olivet 63-44. Adrian wins against St. Mary's 60-51. Trine pulls away late to defeat Calvin 72-56. And your final here, Hope wins on the road 65-51 over the Britons.
So really not much changes when it comes to the standings in the MIAA. Trine still on top, Hope right behind them. Britain solidly in third place right now as we work our way through the last couple of games here in the month of January, and then just a very short couple of weeks in the February before we look at the conference playoffs here this year, and that will be an interesting situation. As we said, the first time in the history of the conference, there'll be 6 teams entered in the tournament this year. 1 and 2, number 1 will host, number 2 and 1 will both take the first weekend off. They'll have a bye weekend. 3 and 4 will host in a play-in game that will be midweek, and 3 will play 6, 4 will play 5. The winners on those 2 will match up then in the finals for a couple of ball games at the number 1 seeds floor, and that should be an interesting way of doing basketball this year in the MIAA. We saw that a lot in the last conference we were in, and I can tell you this, it makes for a fun conference tournament because all of a sudden you never can tell when a 4 or 5 seed or a 3 seed all of a sudden catches a little lightning, and then they hop into that 2-game playoff going in with a little bit of confidence, and the next thing you know, we've seen some 3 and 4 and 5 seeds pull off the conference championship. Not that they played a great 2.5, 3 months worth of basketball before that, but all of a sudden that last week of the season, they became the team to beat. And so it may just introduce something like that into the MIAA this year, and we hope so.
And I think that would be healthy because in most conferences, your 3, 4, 5, and 6 probably aren't getting at-large bids unless they get the automatic. They're not, they're not getting an at-large bid.
Yeah, they're not at all.
So the only way you're going to get into the tournament at that point is to pull off a couple of upsets, and you have to figure you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
If you're a 3, 4, 5, or a 6 seed, you have absolutely nothing to lose. If you play all road games to get there, doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you probably weren't going to get in the tournament anyway.
Yeah.
And now you have an opportunity to kind of sneak in, and everybody else is looking at, if Hope is looking at Trine and Trine's looking at Hope, that gives the Brits an opportunity. They catch fire down the stretch, be a 3 seed or whatever. They're going to remember the way it felt tonight, and they're going to play some inspired ball down the stretch too. So the 1s and 2s in these conferences, especially in the MIAA, are going to need to have their A game going all the time because they're going to have big targets on their backs, and a lot of teams with really nothing to lose playing hungry basketball down the stretch.
And it could make for a very fun third week of February here when we get to that point. You'd have to expect at this point in time, if everything plays out the way that we expect it to play out, that you have Trine and Hope more than likely, whoever wins that conference tournament, the other is more than likely going to make it into the NCAA because they're both ranked in the top 10 right now in the country. But again, if you get a 3 like an Albion or somebody like that who all of a sudden comes on and plays really good basketball in that conference finals, maybe pulls the upset, maybe wins that conference tournament, now they get the automatic bid to go into the NCAA. Now you've got a couple of teams that have been ranked in the top 10 all year long, and those 2 teams more than likely still have a good possibility of getting into that tournament, or maybe one of them gets bounced out after being a top 10 team all season long. So you never can tell.
But again, you're talking about 2 well-coached teams who know the score, so to speak, and even though they're top 10 ranked, it isn't necessarily a shoo-in to get an automatic bid because they're going to look at the losses and how they lose and who they lost to.
Yeah.
And so, if you're going in as, say, a top 10, top 20 team, and then you lose a couple games that last week or 2 of the season to teams who the committee felt, maybe you shouldn't have lost those games or you shouldn't have lost them the way you lost them. All of a sudden that very comfortable situation becomes a little bit of a nail biter, and those 2 teams, again, they're well coached. I'm sure they've thought through all those scenarios, but it can be interesting come MIAA tournament time.
Well, as we said, for the Britons here, they will play Friday night against Finlandia, a non-conference game. Then they'll be off for the weekend, which is probably something that this team could use right now. A little bit of rest over the weekend, a non-conference game on Friday, maybe get things back on track, maybe get people a little more healthy. And then next Wednesday, they will be at Adrian. The following Saturday, the 2nd of February, they will be at Calvin. Then home on the 6th day of February with Alma, and we will not be at that ball game. We will be at the Saturday game on the 9th versus Trine here, and then they will finish off their season at St. Mary's on February the 16th. I'm not sure that the coach is going to join us tonight. We don't see her anywhere. I didn't see Bob anywhere. He's been up and he's down on the floor right now talking to some folks. But I've got a sneaking hunch maybe Coach Carden not going to join us here tonight. So why don't we wrap things up here from Albion this evening. We really appreciate your being part of the broadcast tonight. We thank all the folks here at Albion. Bobby Lee, the SID here with all of the numbers that we need. Matt Aaron, the athletic director here tonight. A big shout out to Drea, who's our camera operator, Drea Hill. And Kenny Reeker pulling all the buttons and pushing all the knobs and twisting all the levers and doing all the things that he does with Richer Production right here. This has been a production of Richer Productions and FJ Productions. A thank you to my buddy Jimmy Bellamy with a great job tonight on the color commentary. The Brits fall tonight 65-51 to Hope. That'll wrap it up here from the Kresge Gymnasium at Albion College.